What's up, dedicated Dragon Ball denizens? I'm Ryan, and we're here for another episode of the Hawks Dragon Ball Nest. Excited to get into our penultimate how to play for each color of Dragon Ball Fusion World. Today we are going to go over how to play green. I'll go over some of the top 3 leaders of what I think are going to be the top 3 leaders. We've got a new set dropping before I record, but I'm going to talk about the new one, which is going to be a green Goku. And then we will talk about some of the strengths, weaknesses, and kind of key traits of green. And then finally we're going to go through what some of the key cards are that are going to help you be able to utilize these traits of green. And throughout this video we're going to kind of take breaks, and I'll show you some battle footage so that you can see how to actually put in action what I'm showing you. But without further ado, let's get into what we came to do. Alright, now here is our green cards. These ones show a little bit of some of the strategy, so I'm going to talk about each one a little bit to give you an idea of what it is. And really, I just kind of wanted a front page where we got some cool looking cards. We got my favorite Vegeta up there, the Super Vegeta pointing at himself like he's about to defeat Perfect Cell, but does he or does he? No, he doesn't. Okay, anyway, on play, you're going to see add up to 1 card with a cost of 3 more from your drop tier energy in rest mode. So this is kind of one of the main things about green is energy ramping and energy manipulation. So there's a lot of cards that are going to have you add things from your drop, from your hand, from the top of your deck, from your life, to your energy, either in active or rest mode. Many times rest mode, but there are a lot of times when it's active mode, which can make you make some pretty crazy plays that I'll show you guys as we go throughout this video. So that's one on Vegeta. The second part is a lot of powerful cards. Just getting once that energy is really ramped up, green is the only color that is playing cards of like cost 7 and cost 8. You don't see that in other colors. We're really seeing only 6 as the highest. Really, like, it wasn't until this last set 4 that red even got anything, which was the secret rare Goku for 6. But even blue really just got a secret rare Vegito as well. They did have the Zeno, but you're going to see 7 and 8 cost cards being played frequently in green. And then we're going to use something like this gigantic meteor to make them even stronger. Choose your leader up to 1 of your battle cards. It gets 1500 power for the battle. Then if you have 6 or more energy, that card's going to get another 10k. So this can give you up to 25,000 more power to one of your cards, and you're going to see that you're going to use these late in battle when your energy is 6 or more. There's a lot of cards that their play and their effects are going to be different based on how much energy you have. Some are going to want lower, some are going to want higher, most want higher. Right, and then we're going to see a little bit in terms of Krillin. This gives you an idea. Add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. There are a ton of self-awakeners in green, because there's, and especially coming into the next set of the green Goku or Nameku, which we're going to talk about in a second, where we're adding to our life and doing some life manipulation. And then you're going to see just another way of energy ramping here. You can't see the full card, but it says add up to 1 card from your life to your hand in rest mode when this card is KO'd. So he's out there, your opponent knocks him out, you can add another energy just from your hand. I won't get into too much if it's good or bad, but anyway, you get the idea. Let's jump into some of the leaders now. Alright, now currently, as I mentioned, this is being recorded before set 5 is dropping. Right, so this is before set 5, so this Goku on the left, Nameku, has not even dropped yet, but I do think he is going to be a relevant leader in the next set, and at least one worth talking about because he does have kind of a slightly different mechanic compared to a lot of the other greens. In the middle, we have a more traditional, for the most part, kind of how green is playing, and it is the only, at this moment, viable green to play, right? Which is androids. On the front is just Android 17. When you flip that card and awaken, it is going to be 17 and 18. Pretty cool. I think it's our only 2-person leader right now when you flip it over. Some of them change from one to the other. But anyway, this one's a good one. We'll go over their effects in just a second. We've got Green Vegeta here, who is Not anywhere near meta at all, but very fun to play. I love playing green Vegeta. I don't always win, but that's alright. Here's some of the others, or let's list all of them in fact. Vegeta, as we see here. We do have Broly, who start part of the first starter deck for green. Cell is also a green leader. Piccolo. Gohan Child, which is when he faced Cell and went Super Saiyan 2. And then Android 17 and 18, as I mentioned right here. Funnily enough, right? Cell, Piccolo, Broly, all like pretty green. Of course, it makes sense to put him green. I think that's why like Goku is a red, kind of. I mean, his gi is more orange, Vegeta blue. Anyway, let's get into what some of them are. Okay, so here is Android 17 and 18. So you're going to see this one is one that is the most ramp, and it kind of makes sense when we think about the androids being like this unlimited energy machines and all that, that they are super ramp, and they get stronger as your energy is higher. Right, if you have 6 or more energy, this card gets 10k power. So not anything really fancy, and it is only on your turn. But overall, they get a ton of support with Android cards that just really make this a super fast-paced deck that wants to ramp their energy really quick and then just start dropping really high-cost cards on you. So Androids are a very good deck right now. Hey, then we have the green Vegeta, which really kind of put green on its head and like reversed a lot of the high ramping aspect of green, and actually went the opposite of wanting less energy, but kind of wanting to cap at 5 and 6 energy. What we have here is once per turn you can place an energy into your drop. If you have 4 or less energy after placing into drop, then you could play one Saiyan only battle card with a cost of 3 or less from your hand. So Vegeta is playing pure Saiyan cards. If he needs his energy to go from 5 to 4 or 4 and less, and then you can play multiple cards, which actually just really helps you swarm your board and just get a ton out, and potentially not even have to charge energy at a certain point in the game. Well, the problem is that he wants to pretty much only play 3 cost cards, which makes it really tough if you're not going to win early. And right now, aggro decks are not in vogue per se. But very fun leader. We'll see him in action because he is fun, and I love him. Alright, and then we have our favorite here. We have Nameku, same from the planet Namek. And let's just take a second to admire this card. I mean, honestly, that Vegeta is one of my favorites too. Wish I pulled one. Haven't done so quite yet. But anyway, this one is another very different and interesting green card. He's one that actually awakens at 3 life. And then as we see here, he is not going to draw necessarily on attack, but notice this, this card gets 10k power on your turn, so he is going to be a 30,000 attacker. And check this out, at the end of your turn, discard 1 card from your hand. If your life is at 2 or less and you have 7 or less energy, add the top card of your deck to your life. So he is one that really wants to play on kind of on the edge of death, 2 or less, and then you can discard from your hand, add the top of your deck to your life. In essence, he's kind of like Zamasu and androids combined. Those that know Zamasu from Blue can do something similar to this, discarding a card to add to your life. So there's a lot of mechanics that could go around that, and we're not going to be able to see him in action during this video, but I'll demonstrate a little bit of what he's going to do. And there's going to be other cards that you can add to your life while you're playing Goku, or even a lot where we're going to use those self-awakeners to take from life. So what Goku's going to be wanting to do is hovering between 2 and 3 life. You're going to be wanting to get to 3 life before you get to your opponent's turn, which you really do not want to stay on 2 life to get vulnerable to double strikers. And then we also want to get down to 2 life, because a lot of times that's going to be a lot of the cards effects that go with Goku in the next set. Here comes Vegeta. Now let's talk about style and traits of the green color. The main thing still is energy manipulation, whether we're adding or subtracting from energy in order to play cards, in order to use effects, in order to enhance some of our abilities, right? High cost cards are a big thing. For androids, I think we're going to see a little bit less of that with Goku. But again, unlike Vegeta, he's trying to stay around 7 energy. So 7's still going to get you in a really good spot to play some of these high cost cards. 7 is still pretty good in that, right? Energy ramping, energy manipulation, right? So there's manipulation in terms of adding and subtracting to play cards, but also a lot of cards to add so that you can really get high energy much quicker than your opponents, and then decide if you're going to subtract to that or just continue to add, right? Hard to remove cards. So this is something I kind of added at the end that I didn't think about. So but hard to remove cards are really key, because once we get over 5, there are not a lot of cards to just straight up remove them. So that means that you're going to have to, or your opponent is going to have to be sending a lot of resources into just straight up attacks. And of course, these high cost cards that are 7 and 8, they're going to be having 50,000 power, where it is not going to be easy to take them out, and it's going to be easy for you to defend. So we're going to see that in action as we go through here. And then now the newest thing is life manipulation, which really you're only seeing with Goku, but pretty good. And then this right here over in the middle, we see our Son Gohan Future from Future Trunks' timeline. And there's some good, this is one of, doesn't necessarily fit into the rest of it, but I really thought he should be here because it kind of goes with most decks in green. Maybe not so much androids, but you see a lot of cool things. It really goes with green Vegeta. All of your battle cards with 3 or with a cost of 3 can't be removed from the battle area by skills. Pretty good. And then you're going to be able to choose one at the end of your turn, play a battle card with 3 or less from your hand, or choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 3 or less and KO it. So pretty good stuff there with Gohan. This is one that you want to get out there really quickly with Vegeta. Alright, and let's see how this goes. Man, I just sat here, I almost fell asleep. The Satan City deck's taking so long. He's almost out of time here. So I'm going to do a little ramp up here with my energy. So we're going to go ahead and get these 2 into drop. And this is going to give us enough to still make a play. I mean, I'm on the fence because I actually kind of want to go ahead and just use this Gohan to add the top to my life. So I was hoping to get a 1 cost, but I'm thinking, because I only have 7 energy, it may be ideal to just go ahead and play him. I did let him die though, so maybe I'll play the Gohan and we can just start knocking him out. Let's do that. Yeah, that was the original move. I really wanted to show you guys what it looked like to both ramp up and gain a life, so there we have it. Strengths of this deck, it swarm the board. This is a swarming deck. No matter which leader you're playing, at least of these 3, you want to be swarming the board, and you're really putting a lot of pressure on your opponent. A little bit less maybe with androids, where you're really focusing more on the ramp and a little bit of defense until maybe you get to 6 or 7. But at that point, you're going to just start swarming the board with cards and pressuring them faster than they can keep up with. It ramps up very quickly. Even with Green Vegeta, who's a little bit less ramping, you only need to get to 5 or 6 energy, and then you are ready to just go pressure, right? Lots of KO opponent cards. There are a lot, especially as we get higher up to 5 and 6, and there are things that just clear the board. We're going to talk about those as we get in here, that just can clear out the board in various different ways, more than just KOing, but a lot of like clearing out, right? Powerful late game moves. Like, this is a deck that your opponent a lot of times really you're going to be pressuring them, but also you're knowing that it's okay because you're going to be able to toss out huge cards at the end of the game that they can't keep up with, and they're going to be pressuring to just get rid of you before they get to that point. Weaknesses, though. Weaknesses. Green does have a lot of weaknesses to work right. There are a lot of low powered cards until they ramp energy. This is most of their 3 costs are going to be hitting for 20k. There's not a lot of good 2 costs that are going to go. Really, there's not even a ton of 4s. You know, even in androids, those 4 cost cards are only going to be hitting for 20k because they're doing more focusing on the ramp up. So it can take you some time to really deal any damage to them. Low combo power. Combo is a big issue with green. We do I put that as I put this Vegeta up there, but you kind of see it. I mean, yeah, this Vegeta that I have up here has 10k combo, but for 3 cost to have 20k, there's a lot of 2s that have that too in other colors. So 20 is just very struggling. Although this is such a cool card. I've got some on the way to me. I ordered some, so I can't wait to get those. And then in there, most cards are leader specific, so that makes green, I think that's why green you're really only seeing the 1 leader, because they're not interchangeable cards. Like Vegeta's cards needs all Saiyan only, so that means anything android's not going to fit. Anything android's not going to fit in Vegeta. There's Piccolo really has his own thing that he's doing as a leader. Broly too, and it just makes it, there's not a lot of interchangeability, whereas you're going to see a color like yellow where they have all kinds of the same cards that can go together. So I think that is something that really holds green back. And it really, to be honest, was disappointing because we're getting another Goku Saiyan as a leader in green, thinking that maybe he's going to give Vegeta some support, but they slapped on Planet Namek to a lot of Goku's cards, and now we might be in the same issue where these are leader specific cards that are not very interchangeable. Let's talk about some of the key cards in green. Now, these first key cards are about energy ramping, so these really demonstrate a few different ways that we can energy ramp in green. And this is something that, for the most part, across the board, you are going to see in all green leader decks. So the first one, this one is the Android specific one, which is 17 and 18. It's only a rare card. And we see place the 2 cards from your energy in your drop. If your leader's Android 17, add up to 3 cards with Android in their special traits from your drop to your energy. So what this does is you put 2 in drop, and then you add 3 from drop that have Android to your energy. So in essence, you are getting a net 1 energy off of this, and that goes straight to active. So let's say you have 4 energy, you play your Android 17, you put 2 in drop and add 1, you've got 1 left. Maybe you're going to play a Bulma after that. So you'll see that in action. So that's a pretty cool thing. But again, you're going to see here, this is a 4 cost card that only has 20,000 power. Then let's move on. We have another way of doing things with Raditz, the Ruthless Saiyan, who comes through. On play, KO one of your Earthling only battle cards with a cost of 1 or less. Add the top card of your deck to your energy. So this is a odd way of ramping up where we're going to KO one of our cards, and then we add the top card of our deck to our energy. This is one that I started playing in Vegeta to help ramp me up. Seems to work okay. He is, as we see though, a 500 combo, 20k attacker, so his real purpose is going to be just to give you that energy. And he actually pairs well. There's a card just called like Earthling with 3 power or something like that. I don't know if it puts the last part, but anyway, that one's a 0 cost card, so you may drop him first, throw your Raditz, or just KO your Bulmas. Okay, now Nappa is one of the more interesting ramps that we've gotten in set 3, and this one actually went into pretty much all Android decks too, because it combines Self-Awakening with ramping. On play, you can choose one, and you have to do one. Add 1 card from your life to your energy in rest mode. So it helps you to self-awaken and add to your energy. That one goes in rest mode, but hey, it is what it is. The other 2, including that Raditz, does go in active. Now, when you're awakened, you're like, well, shoot, I want to play this Nappa, but I don't want to, do that. So this one's an interesting one. If you have no Vegeta battle cards, this card can't attack for the turn. So it kind of balances its power a little bit by making you not attack. If you don't want to ramp up your energy to rest mode, your life to your energy, you can just not attack for the turn. And there's also other ways to play him too with Vegeta, which we may or may not see in this video. Based on that, but you're gonna see this. He is 3 costs and he's 30k, so he's actually in Vegeta like one of the main attackers at 30k, so he does well. So let's see this stuff in action. This one we'll see quite a few little clips on, right? All right, now we have a fun little mechanic of energy ramping. I will demonstrate here. So this first one, Dr. Gero's lab, helps us ramp. It costs 1 energy to use, but then we basically add another energy, and it does go in active mode. So in essence, as long as you use that to start your turn, then you don't waste any energy. I've got these 2 right here. I've got these 2 androids. So when we play 1, you're able to add 2 of your energy to drop, and then you add 2 androids. So let's put 2 androids. Make sure they're the rest mode ones. And also try to make sure that they're androids. And then you can go ahead and just add 3 to your energy, which will also be in active mode. So hey, I could do this again if I want. Nothing else to do, so why not? So we're going to play a second one. Downside here is I'm more doing this to demo because on the board we actually, they've got a bunch of 25k attackers, so like what are we supposed to do here? Here, let's put that one. So, but anyway, that demonstrates just how we can ramp up. So now we went from 6 energy to 9 energy in a turn, and we're able to actually play 8, and I still have 4 more. So I mean, shoot, there's even a chance I get another one. Alright, so we have a turn here, so I'll make a decision. If I charge now, then I can play him next turn. He's at 6 life. Not really necessary. I think what I'm going to do is not charge, and then I'll go ahead and just play my Nappa, so I can get a little bit of ramp up here. Add to my life. Now I'm at 5. Not that bad boy. And then now we're doing alright. And look at that. Look at what I drew into. I've got Bulma, so it'll let me draw again. So I saved a card in hand by not drawing, by not charging. And next turn, I'm still going to be able to play my Grade 8 Vegeta if I want. Or I can just not charge again, which is probably the even better move considering his board, and go that route. Now let's go through a little bit of the life manipulation, so there's a couple kind of basic cards on that. Now this Son Gohan Childhood is one that does see some play here and there. It's kind of a surprise card that can really mess with your opponents a little bit. We see he is a high cost card. He costs 6 to play, but hey, he's got 3,500 attack. And then guess what? On play, add the top card of your deck to your life. So pretty simple card. There's nothing fancy about him, but he can add to your life. And when one of the times when I was playing, my opponent just quit. You know, they like must have like planned things out. Oh, I'm gonna knock him out and finish him off next turn. Didn't work. I added to my life and he just quit, because I mean, not only now are we adding 1 to life, you've got a big body on the board, big body in terms of power. Gohan was still rather small at this point, but you've got a big body on the field that's 6 costs. You're not going to be able to remove him for the most part unless you KO him with 35k. Pretty crazy, right? Now let's go through Dende. Now this Dende is an interesting one. And one that I think could see some play because he has 10k combo. You see he's only got 5k attack or power, so he's not going to be crazy. But check it out. Switch this card in a battle area to rest mode. If your life is at 1, add the top card of your deck to your life. So this one is kind of like a late game. Let's say that you do just get really far down. And you need some rescue here. You could play that Dende, rest mode him, add to your life, and hey, he's in rest mode. If your opponent doesn't go for him and do something about him next turn, you're going to continuously add to life, which is going to take their attention away from maybe some of your other battle cards on the field, maybe even your own life. In essence, that could give you two attacks nullified. You got one to life, and then they're going to have to maybe use their leader strike that they would have hit you with and you would have had to defend with on this Dende to take them out. I think this is a really good card personally, but also, as we mentioned, it's just demoing kind of some of that life manipulation. Now, Cell, this one is a big one. And probably the best of the three, right? You're going to see 8 cost card, 45k. So this is really demoing also like the powerfulness of cards. 45k big attacker in Cell. But check this one out here. Place 3 cards from your energy and drop. So that's going to take 3 energy into drop. Not an option. You've got to do this. Actually, I think you can choose not to use the ability, sorry, but if you use it, so anyway, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. Doesn't matter what the cost is. Then add the top card of your deck to your life. This Cell is ridiculous. I think he might not get enough play out there, maybe because these decks don't want to. They don't want to use it. They've got other options. A lot of people are just throwing in Broly's that we're going to talk about in a minute. But you KO 2 cards, you've got a 45k, and then you've got another life. So that's pretty good. So that's kind of showcasing Cell. Let's see the Cell in action. Alright, so now I am clearing my opponent's board. He's going to make a decision on if he's going to save him. I've already KO'd him once, so he didn't. I'm at 1 life. He's still at 5. I'm not letting him awaken. Now, I used my Broly to KO him both times. So, the question will be, am I going to be able to clear his board? That answer is going to be yes. With Cell, we are going to activate his ability. Top 3 are going to have to go into my drop. So, we're going to get 3. Make sure a couple of them are androids. Actually, I'll make sure they're all androids. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, good. So they'll go to drop, and then I'll KO 2. So now I just cleared his board. Not bad. I get a life back. Not bad. Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and activate this. Ramp up. We'll throw another android out there. We get it back. I'm going to save this for next turn. So that was a demonstration of both life manipulation and there. And finally, let's look at just the, I don't even know what to call these guys. Just these beastly buff battle cards that we've got here. Let's start in the middle because this is kind of the classic big hitter in green. And this card is honestly like sometimes I think it's a little bit overpowered because when you look at it, it costs 8. But I mean, it is not hard for androids to get to 8. Like sometimes they're playing this card on the same turn that you're playing a 5 cost card, a double strike, and it is ridiculous. Check out its ability. So it hits for 45 on play. Draw a card. You gotta draw a card when you're playing an 8 cost card, and that's not all. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So this is another good one, regardless of cost. Just get rid of 1, KO them, and then. That's not all. When attacking, once per turn, switch this card to active mode. So this card can attack twice in a turn for 45k and knock someone out. And I'm going to show you guys just how crazy this card can turn the tide of a battle in the next clip. Because, I mean, he can let's say your opponent has 3, 40k attackers out there. You could throw this Broly out, KO one of them. And then potentially even knock the other 2 out if your opponent can't defend. So pretty good there. Let's talk about this newest one here. The newest secret rare that is about to drop. That's also ridiculous. So check this out. 7 cost Goku. 45k double striker. A 45k double striker for 7 cost. But wait. Permanent. If your life is at 2 or less and you don't have a Son Goku with the cost of 7 in your battle area, reduce the cost of this card in your hand by 4. Reduce it by 4. So you're going to be able to play this bad boy for 3 energy as long as you do not have another one out there. So this is a card that's going to be able to be played in Green Vegeta and may help him. I think it's the only card in there that helps him. It's kind of tragic that they had to slap the planet Namek on him, because then it would have been really good, because then you could have played him for other things. But anyway, for 3 energy, you can use some of your 3. So in essence, this is a 3 cost card, 45k double strike. Like, this is just blowing my mind to think about how good he is. Obviously, as long as your life is at 2 or less. So it might be, it's a risky play in Vegeta. It's definitely less so in Goku, because you're obviously going to add a life to or add a card to your life at the end of your turn. But just a big body that's going to be hard to take out, and your opponent wants to defend against if you're attacking life. All right. Finally, here we've got this one, a 7 cost, another secret rare. 7 cost Son Gohan Childhood, Father-Son Kamehameha. Beautiful card. I pulled a copy of this one as well, right? So this one is 50k, 50,000 power. But even crazier than that is this on play. Discard 1 card from your hand. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 5 or less and KO them. Then this card can attack for the turn. So it does suck he can't attack for the turn, but this bad boy's got 50,000 power. And he's not going into rest mode. He just can't attack. So now your opponent has to sit there shaking in their boots on their turn because all of their 5 or less cards got KO'd. And this guy's about to hit him next turn again. Very good card. I think another one that I really love to include a couple copies in my Android deck. Wish I could throw this one into Green Vegeta. It would have been nice if they gave you like 1 more energy rather than 4. We got to 5. It would have let us include cards like this, and I think really made Green Vegeta viable. But anyway, let's see some of these in action, because we got some cool clips on that to demo these guys. All right, let's have some fun here and show off Broly. Right, Broly is a big-bodied dude who is going to hit and hit and hit, and I want to hit right now. So this guy, as we know, he can't be KO'd once per turn, so let's hit him once, okay? And let's see how many times he wants to defend him. All right, we're going to go after him once. All right, how many times is he going to defend him, if any? I'm willing to use all my hits on him, including now I'm awakened. I've got another hit here, okay? Yeah, so he's going to do that. He's going to use his ability once, so give him a nice little draw. Then he gets 2. So that's a huge flip that he had, but let's see if I can take him out. Alright, there's 1 super combo. Right, and guess what? I've got 2 cells in hand, which I may use next turn to try this again. Right, I mean, he's got 13 in hand, so there's a good chance he's got multiple super combos. Okay, he didn't, but he had that, so okay. Alright, we'll go with 1 more with him. To be honest, it might be easier to go for the Gohan or something, but I'm going to give it 1 more shot, see if I can take him out. He's thinking about it. He's really thinking. I mean, come on, he's got 12 in hand. Just defend him. If it were me, I would, but I mean, that's a lot of defense that he had to use. All right, another one where we're going to demo Cell, but this time we'll kind of show off a little bit more, or maybe kind of, I don't know, but well, kind of. We're going to show off a little bit more of Gigantic Meteor as well, where we're going to get some really big stuff, and I've got plenty here. So okay, anyway, let's start. So we're going to get him out here. I'm gonna have to get rid of some of my energy, which I've got 11. No big deal here. I'm still gonna have 8, okay? And then we're gonna take out 2, right? So get rid of this Goku. And we get him once. So, okay, he's still got some left, alright? And I'm back up. Alright, so, I don't like this guy. You guys know I don't. I'm gonna have to deal with these two, whatever. Not a big deal. I've got another cell there if I want to use him next turn. So, let's take him out. See how many times he's going to want to defend. And look, we could play this guy for free too. Alright, so let's use this. So now I've got at least 6 energy. So it takes me 2, I'm doing 2. So we're going to power him up. So now they go up to a healthy 55k. Does he want to defend against this big hit? Oh, he's really thinking about it, isn't he? If not, then I'm going to go after the Gohan with Cell. He's going. All right. Now that's got him down to 7. I've got 7. We're both at 3. I'm evening stuff out here. Do I do it again? I think I do it again. All right, we're gonna use another one. Oh yeah. See, and I'm talking about big cards. These are big. 70,000. What? Are you serious? Alright, and then we're gonna so finally he's like, okay, I can't take that. I'm done with that one. It's unfortunate I couldn't take out his other guy, but that's alright. So I'm gonna pull back this gigantic meteor with the Cell Jr. And obviously he's not strong enough to attack. I don't really care. But hey, we took out the Jiren. Alright, and let's go through some of the extras, finally, as we're getting through here. I did talk about one of the main extras right on that first slide, which was the gigantic meteor, where we can get up to 25k power increase with 6 or more energy. Now, these are kind of different that are going to be applied to decks, specific decks, except for a Warm Greeting, which I'll talk about first. So a Warm Greeting is going to let you draw a card, then choose up to 1 card with the cost of 4 or less and add it to their owner's energy and rest mode. So it's a very interesting card. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it, but it does have its uses as a good removal because you're adding it to their energy in rest mode. So it does get around a lot of the opponent's protections. You know, you're like, for example, we saw that we did see that Gohan that protects some of our opponent's cards. There's things like Jiren. This is really good against Jiren, who's got that 4 cost that nullifies being KO'd once per turn. So this one, it's not KOing. We're just going to throw them into their energy. The problem with that is I don't like ramping my opponent. Like, a lot of times it just turns into a negative. I removed this card from my deck. I did throw it in there because I wanted to demo it a little bit, and I was hoping maybe I would see a Jiren, but I didn't. So we will see a clip of this, actually an interesting clip too, because I maybe didn't necessarily use it as it's intended, but I used it to secure a victory. So you'll see that in action in a minute. Artificial Full Moon, you are going to see quite a bit, as and already saw throughout this video. It's basically, in this case, a card that's needed for green Vegeta. It lets you basically add a 3 or more card from your drop to rest mode to your energy. So when you're using your Vegeta, he's going to discard from hand. He's going to discard from energy in order to play another 3 cost. This one puts that back. So that's what I mean. It eventually, since you want to have that energy, when you get to 5 energy, you're going to stop charging because you're not going to be able to play if you get more, unless you're playing your Grade 8 Vegeta. But anyway, that's a good field card. You also see a lot of Dr. Gero's lab in Androids, a little bit less now than you used to, but anyway. Okay, now check this one out. Destructo Disc, another one I think is going to see a lot of play in green in the next set. Activate battle your turn. Your cards that are in battle get 20k power. Then, if your life is at 2 or less, those cards gain critical for the battle. So that's pretty crazy. We are seeing some kind of bonuses. I think there's another card that gives double strike coming in this set too. Like what's going on here? So that's pretty good. I mean, if you're at 2 or less, this one is another one that you're going to see mostly with Goku, because you don't really want to get down to 2 or less, but you will see it. And now we're going to get crit. So this can kind of help you win battles, because sometimes your opponent kind of strategically is going to take a hit or two at the end of battle just to hope that they're going to gain a card in hand to help them defend against one final attack and one final onslaught. So it's really going to change up their strategies when you're going to use a Destructo Disc. Now you're doing crit, so they cannot take that life. It's going to really change the way they play the game. So pretty cool stuff in green. Pretty cool, right? All right, I might have the craziest use of a warm greeting ever. I have 5 energy. I could play some cards. He's got 1, but he's got this guy out here who might defend, and he's only got 3 cards. So you know what I'm going to do? I am actually going to use a warm greeting for 2 rather than playing this. Rather than playing my 5-cost Gohan, and then I'll just add him to his energy. So that way, hey, he ain't going to have another turn, and we about to be out here. And then I can do this, and just go ahead and play Vegeta, go for the attack. And then what I'll do from here is I'm going to play Nappa, and I don't even have to take an energy, not that I would, and I can just put the rest into an attack and hopefully get the win. So let's see if we do. Alright, so now I use Vegeta's ability, place 1 and drop to play a 3-cost. I guess we'll put the moon, doesn't really matter at this point. So let's see if we can get this victory. Maxim, he's got 2 super combos, and I think he would need both of them. Cross our fingers that I've got enough here, because he's got, okay, this would be 1 super combo, 2 we can get out of it. Let's see if we get it. Take it against Beerus. My goal was to take it before the 6th one, and we got it. Alright. Well, that will do it for this episode of the Hawks Dragon Ball Nest. Hope you enjoyed this episode with how to play green. If you did enjoy, please hit that subscribe button so you can become part of the Hawks Nest. We are a fabulous flock of fearless folks who love to do what we love. I love me playing some Dragon Ball. I love growing this community. That's why I made these videos. They are a lot of work, but a lot of fun once they kind of all come together. So I'm glad that people are enjoying. Thank you for all the love I'm getting. I want to thank everyone. I'm getting a lot of love in the comments on these. You know, let me know. I want to keep doing what you guys want. As I'm finishing up this series, you know, I'm going to be getting back to, unless I think of something else, pretty much all back to making my fun Rogue E decks. Of course, as we get into the new set, I always like to just kind of get some of these quick ones as soon as possible and make my own list of them. So we are going to see some Janemba, Vegito, and we are going to see probably Goku as well. I mean, I don't know, I might make one of everything, one of all the new leaders. But yeah, let me know, what other types of content do you guys want to see out here? I can definitely see if I can accommodate in that regards. If you're not quite ready to fly it though, please just hit that like button. We'll show up in an algorithm near you pretty soon. Now, next up, well, what I mean is our final how to play video is going to be black. We will have that in a few weeks. We will actually drop that one probably a week or 2 after the new set drops. So we may have a couple weeks in between here as I'm kind of getting into these new decks that I want to show off. So it'll come soon. I'm not exactly sure when, but we'll have the how to play black coming. And keep it going. Until then, we'll see you next time.